Hello truth seekers, Lawrence here and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So in this video I want to share the difference between the absolute world and a relative world. Absolute world is about dissolving the pattern and resting as a void or emptiness or nothingness. And a relative or functioning world is all about a pattern, including our mind. Okay, that's the difference. That's why when we are being part of the spiritual journey, enlightenment journey, we have the reference that truth is not an idea. Truth is not a belief. Why? Because the belief and idea itself, is pattern. The belief got duality, the dual nature. Idea is the same thing, preference is the same thing. So when we are walking to dissolve the fear, the conflict in our lives, and when we're dissolving, and when we think we have dissolved everything, then we can reference ourselves with the ultimate reference that freedom is not an idea. So we don't confuse ourselves in the process. Okay, that's the difference in the absolute world and relative world, and that's the ultimate reference that truth is not an idea. Now, when we are being part of the spiritual journey, notice how many times we have come to the conclusion that I think I have arrived, right? That I think I have arrived itself is the idea, resurfacing in us. And that has to go as well. When the truth is seen, it comes with conviction, and that conviction dissolve all ideas in us. Basically, it dissolved the ego self in us, and ego got no power to hold on to its game. That means inner conflict and fear drops by seeing the plain sight truth. Now, here's another thing. When we are practicing meditation, we know that truth is not an idea. Some of us know already that truth is not an idea. And when we are being part of the meditation practice, we are controlling the body and mind through techniques, through visualization, through mantra. And those becomes a focal point. When we are concentrating ourselves on those focal points, what happens is our mind, our distraction, dissolves naturally from that concentration. And from that concentration, when we concentrate so much, that concentration itself somehow dissolves, and we kind of get into that spaciousness of nothing where the mind is also not there. So we have that experience, but that experience doesn't help us to dissolve the inner conflict and fear. That doesn't help us to end the seeking of the spiritual unfolding. When the true realization happens, the further seeking on the spirituality ceases itself from the true seeing. But this is the thing: when you are concentrating so much, you are zooming so much in your meditation, and you enter into that void or emptiness, and what happens is that itself becomes a conditioning. Now every time you want to get in there to that void, that emptiness, and we concentrate so much, but that itself is another trap, because you don't have to control yourself to get into the void, get into that emptiness as our nature. What's missing is the subtractive journey. Subtractive journey is the nature's way of things moving backward in our own mind, tracing the mind all the way to its root, and also tracing back on the root. The root is our ingrained belief, in us, which comes from the place of fear, place of attachment, and we have to, trace it back on that as well until there's nothing more to trace. And when we ask ourselves, who am I? And that's where it happens, basically. That's the straightforward process to realize the plain sight truth, or the truth within us. Concentrating the body and mind in the meditation, forcing ourselves. Yes, you somehow get to that void for momentarily, but once it's done, you're back in the same mundane movement. There is no shift, the real shift in the person, because the truth is still missing. The awareness in us has to see what is true through dismantling work. That's why, like when people are involved in the meditation and forcing oneself to be part of that no mind zone becomes a conditioning, that becomes a trap, and that that practice is prolonged because we have the idea that that spirituality is get to that empty state, the void state where the mind doesn't exist. And we have that reference, and we continually push ourselves to get into that realm, which is a false realm. And no matter how much you be there, that experience already shows that the life is still not free, because our inner conflict still there, fear is still there, the mental drama is still there after you get out of that space. So also, like that, dissolving your mind and being in that void, that practice haven't seized the seeking in you, haven't seized the seeking of the spirituality in you. That means it's ongoing. That means the truth is missing. So until you figure out the truth, the whole practice prolongs, and let me tell you that the practice that you're making through the control approach itself becomes, again, conditioning, and that conditioning is a trap, and we're doing the same thing again and again. And in later, what happens is we get frustrated with that practice, and eventually we give up, and that's the way to fail in realizing the truth. So anyway, coming back to the purpose of the video is there's a two world. One is the absolute world, which is the void, nothingness or emptiness, and that entering to that state is by dissolving all the pattern. And then next one is the function in a relative world or functioning world, and that world is full of pattern. One is the inward journey to nothingness, and one is the outward journey of simplicity or complexity, of the pattern. So, and the freedom is dissolving the pattern. So, hope this video makes sense to you, and hope you're enjoying your backward journey to, see the truth, and keep going, keep dissolving the pattern. And remember, truth is not an idea. Truth is not a belief. Truth is not a pattern, So, always have this reference. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.